What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Clash Royale video. Now today we're going to be taking out one of my favorite decks into a grand challenge and see how many battles we can win, see if this deck still holds up after the recent balance changes in the brand new meta. As most of you know, the current meta is bait zap decks and royal giants and a bunch of really annoying cards, but this was one of my favorite decks during the last meta and I want to see if it still works out in some grand challenges. Now meta is most of the time only applied to ladder matches. Grand challenges are usually just a bunch of beatdown decks going at each other, like golem decks, lava hound decks, stuff like that. Occasionally you do see some royal giants in there and maybe some really cheap hog cycle decks or like maybe zap bait decks. I have seen a little bit of those in there since the new meta change. However, this was my favorite deck in the last meta, and since the new update I haven't really been able to find a good deck that I really like yet, so I've just been sticking with this deck and still using it in some grand challenges, doing pretty well. So for today's video, since I really don't like this meta and I don't want to race too hard in some ladder matches, I thought I'd go ahead into some grand challenges and see if this deck still works. But without further ado, jumping into our very first battle with this Golem Graveyard deck, we're up against Gias $€04 from Less Prostitute. I have no idea. I think that's the clan name. It looks like he's trying to spell prostitute, but the game wouldn't let him, so he had to space it out or something. I think what he's trying to say is prostitute, so we'll just go ahead and stick with that for now. He has an Electro Wizard coming down my left lane right now, headed towards my level 4 Golem. I'm going to drop down some archers to just finish it off right there. However, he does have a log, which will take out one of them, because that one was hit by the Electro Wizard, and of course that Electro Wizard finishes off the other archer. So down goes my Mega Minion right here, which he will go ahead and Fireball. Luckily, it doesn't completely kill the Mega Minion, and I have a Graveyard on top of his left tower right here. Unfortunately, he did drop down a minion horde. However, my Mega Minion locked onto his tower is doing a bunch of damage right here. The golem blew up and everything. Mega Minion drops it down to 107 hit points. Let's go ahead and see if the zap can finish off these minions right here. It actually did finish off those minions, and the miner got taken out by my tower, and his left lane tower is currently at 107 hit points as he throws down a naked graveyard on my left lane tower. It doesn't usually do too much damage, and there was that free spell. Also, not exactly sure why he had to include the golem in there and the king tower, since they both weren't activated, and the golem doesn't do any damage to skeletons over there. But my archers went ahead and finished off those skeletons, and my current tower is sitting at 1300 hit points. He's going to go ahead and try super hard to defend this push right here with his Electro Wizard. Even though that tower has already dropped down to 107 hit points, there is no stopping my golem from finishing it off. So let's go ahead and drop down an Ice Golem and Elite Barbarians down the right lane. I don't normally play this deck like this. I usually just go for the 3 crown right away. However, that Electro Wizard was really being annoying. He wasted his Fireball and Zap and everything on my other troops. So I thought I'd go ahead and send some Elite Barbarians down his right lane to see if we could do any damage. And it looks like they actually dropped that right lane tower all the way down to 1562 hit points. Here is another naked graveyard. However, I'm expecting there to be a free spell very soon, and there is that free spell. So let's go ahead and drop down our log, see if we can save our tower, and it actually does. As the free spell wears off, our tower is only sitting at 127 hit points. However, there is that fireball taking out our archers and our tower. So let's throw down an Ice Golem and maybe a second Golem on top of that Golem, because why not? We also have a Graveyard that's going to be ready sometime soon, and the Mega Minion finished off half of that Minion Horde right there. So archers to finish off that, and a Graveyard on top of this King Tower, as both of my Golems are approaching the King Tower. There is no way that he can stop this push right here. This is a definite 3 crown. He has actually a defensive Graveyard on his King Tower, as well as an Electro Wizard back there. I'm just going to go ahead and throw down a log. There is no stopping all my golems. Golems on the tower do go ahead and finish it off for the 3 crown victory. So good game to this guy. There was the first 3 crown of the video. Let's go ahead and see if we can get some more using this Golem Graveyard deck. So that battle did work out pretty well, mainly how most of them go. I just spam my Golem and Graveyard down a lane. As long as they don't have an Inferno Tower, I can usually do pretty well. And I just keep on pushing that King Tower for the 3 crown. The Graveyard and Golem is just an unstoppable combo. Really hard to counter, and once you get over there to that King Tower, it's basically game over. So this guy has a level 7 giant coming down my right lane right now. I'm going to go ahead and drop down a Mega Minion in the back and some Elite Barbarians right there in front of those archers headed down the left lane. He will counter with a Skeleton Army, and I do have my Zap ready, so down goes that. But he also has a Tombstone to counter my barbs. I'm not going to bother wasting my log. I'm just going to focus on these archers over here on the right, log them back so they stop shooting my Mega Minion and shoot the Ice Golem instead. Even though it didn't work, they were still locked onto my Mega Minion for some reason. Ended up taking him out, and that giant dropped my tower to 1479 hit points. So that was very unfortunate, and down goes a Golem since we did some damage over there on the right tower with our log. Might as well just go ahead and push that tower while we defend the giant anyway. So now we have our Golem headed down this lane. I will drop down some Elite Barbarians probably behind this Golem, attacking the giant whenever it crosses our bridge. So down goes some archers instead of the Elite Barbs to counter this Graveyard. I don't think I need a Zap just yet, even though it probably would have been a good idea. Let's go ahead and drop down a Graveyard of my own and maybe some Mega Minions right here. Not some Mega Minions, one Mega Minion, but my skeletons from that Graveyard are doing so much damage over there to that right lane lane tower. The golem hasn't even made it there and the skeletons already took it out. The giant is, however, doing a decent bit of damage over here on my king tower, dropping it all the way down to 1900 hit points. My golem mites did make it to his king tower, but not doing too much damage over there. Let's go ahead and pursue this guy's king tower for the 3-crown victory. Hopefully we can get over there before he 3-crowns us. We are now entering double elixir, which is when this deck does its best. You can just spam as many golems and graveyards down as you want, and most of the time you do take a win. So let's go ahead and zap those skeletons as well as the archers right here. But he will go ahead and fireball my archers. Down goes a Mega Minion to finish off that last archer as he drops down some more right next to his giant. Some Elite Barbarians will hopefully finish off his giant right here. They're also going to go ahead and take out that tombstone. So let's go ahead and log some of the archers and maybe some of the skeletons as well. And drop down a graveyard as my golem mites approach that king tower. I didn't expect much considering there were only golem mites on that tower. However, now we need to go ahead and defend his level 7 giant right here as he drops down a graveyard on top of that. Let's go ahead and throw down a log just to get all these troops out of the way. We tried to defend as hard as we could, but our tower is currently sitting at 687 hit points. So this right here is the moment of truth. He just sent in another giant at my king tower and a graveyard. There is no stopping this. He will most likely take the 3-crown here, so we're just going to go ahead and let him do that. So unfortunately, there is a loss already so early in a grand challenge. 1-1, usually not a very good ratio to start a grand challenge off with. But that guy's deck was basically the same as mine. I don't think he had any Elite Barbarians. He actually had a lot of skeletons, the Graveyard, Tombstone, and Skeleton Army. Mega Minion, Archers, Fireball, Zap. That is actually a really good Giant Graveyard deck. Giant a lot cheaper than the Graveyard. All you have to do is keep spamming down Giants and Graveyards. That's basically how he won that battle. He did defend really well though against my Golem. So props to that guy. He did do pretty well in that battle and he most likely deserved that win. Either way, we're going to go out here into one last battle and see if we can get our second win of the video. Shouldn't be too big of an issue considering how well his deck usually does, but I don't know what's going on right here. Maybe I'm under some pressure because I'm actually recording these battles, but I'm going to stop making excuses. Let's go out here into our last battle and see if we can pick up another win. So here we're up against Spider Pork from Century 1.0. He's already saying thanks and good luck. Maybe his finger slipped and he didn't mean to say thanks, but hopefully he's not BMing us just yet, because if he is, I'm going to have to go ahead and smack this dude around for a little bit. He's actually using a Lava Hound deck, which doesn't do too well against my Golem deck. He's going to start off by Fireball and my Archers, kind of expected that one. Let's go ahead and get down a Mega Minion to take out this Lava Hound as it crosses our bridge, and get down a Golem to start off a mini push while he's trying to push my lane as well. And of course to provide some protection for that Mega Minion over there. He will go ahead and drop down a Tombstone, which I really don't like going up against with this Golem deck. But as it gets off one shot on the Tombstone, the log will go ahead and finish it off, and now it's headed towards that tower. We're also going to go ahead and zap a bunch of those skeletons right there. Even though they would have gotten taken out by the death damage of the Golem, I really wanted to get that death damage on the tower and maybe some shots in there as well. Doing that allowed me to drop that tower all the way down to 1428 hit points, and he also has a level 4 balloon coming down my lane. I dropped down an Ice Golem to protect my Mega Minion right there from his, but unfortunately that bomb from the balloon took out my Archers, and now my Mega Minion is getting sniped by this tower. So down goes another Golem behind my king tower. As he drops down, surprise surprise, another Lava Hound behind his king tower. My tower is currently sitting at 1810 hit points and his is sitting at 1428. I don't have any Archers right now or a Mega Minion to defend this push. I can't use my log yet on this Tombstone because that's too high of hit points. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop down a Graveyard on this tower as my Golem crosses the bridge. Getting some Archers over here right by this Lava Hound and try to take it out. Zap some of those skeletons in the back. Unfortunately, the tower will go ahead and retarget onto some of my skeletons, but that's actually going to allow my Golem to get off on the tower and actually do some death damage over there, dropping it all the way below 400 hit points. That Fireball came over there on my tower, and now I have a Mega Minion on his Lava Hound. Unfortunately, that Mega Minion took out my Mega Minion instead of attacking my Golem, and now he has a bunch of Lava Pups on my tower, so I'm going to go ahead and zap all those right here. Don't want them doing too much damage. 636 hit points. He dropped down a balloon in front of some Archers as he fireballs them. However, the Mega Minion will go ahead and do some decent damage to that balloon, not allowing it to get a shot off of my tower. So now let's go ahead and drop down some Elite Barbarians and a Graveyard on this tower. That was most likely an extreme overkill, however I really didn't want to risk anything right here. I need to get this tower as soon as possible because all he has to do is fireball mine for the victory, but luckily we do go ahead and take his left lane tower as he fireballs mine. So we are now entering overtime with a 1-1 crown tie, 3 minutes left in overtime. Down goes my Golem right here, but he's going to go ahead and push this right lane tower as I'm distracted on the other lane. There is that balloon and the Lava Hound. I'm not exactly sure how long I can stop this for. Let's go ahead and throw down some Archers and a Mega Minion to hopefully take it out. However, it will go ahead and get a shot off my tower, so let's go ahead and zap it to make sure it doesn't do any more. My Archer is sitting there picking off that Mega Minion, but my Golem is over there on the right lane doing a bunch of damage. Let's go ahead and log all of these skeletons right here. My Mega Minion to finish off some of those Lava Pups. I do have my Golem and a Graveyard on this guy's king tower with some Archers in behind. Can I get the 3 crown? His log is coming for the victory. We were all set up for the 3 crown, but unfortunately his log won him the battle. Not exactly sure about that battle. I most likely should have won that. I made a few mistakes and that balloon was kind of unstoppable. And he also fireballed my tower at least 5 times and he only won because of the log. I had a bunch of troops on that king tower. I was about to get the 3 crown victory, but unfortunately there is the second loss of the video. video. So after watching those battles, it's up to you to decide whether or not the Golem Graveyard can still withstand in this new meta. Here is the deck, and here are some of the old Grand Challenges I did yesterday and this morning. I don't know what that 2-win was right there. That was a really bad Grand Challenge. But before that, I did have an 8-win Grand Challenge, 2 7-win Grand Challenges, and actually a 12-win Grand Challenge last night. So there were some of my old challenges in this new meta with this deck, so decide amongst yourself whether or not you think it still works. Let me know down in the comment section below. I don't know if it still works. It's doing kind of well for me so far. Maybe I'm just really in denial about this new meta and I don't want to change things up. Either way, that's going to go ahead and wrap up today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you go ahead and smash that like button down below. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for more Clash Royale content. That's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.